Good afternoon. It is June the 13th, 2016. Time to wrap up another trading day. We came into today's market with a down bias. And we had two sell zones, 84, 86. Didn't get much out of that. You had to enter the market lower. This trade was good for two. This buy was really probably the first trade of the day. That was a good one. This bottoming process, there's no B right here. You're already in this trade, so that's not that, but this is a trade. You could have gotten in off of a V bottom. No trade on the S. Then a series of S trades, just a slow grind down. End up in a winner, no trade on that S. This buy would have been a little tough to get in on, and it was all over. This buy produced a small winner. And then we talked through this trade right here. It was good for two, and we said that should be about it. Did not see this when I turned off at that point. That was another trade that was good for two. And then on a V top, we didn't get a normal signal right there, but we do take V tops and V bottoms. We're getting lower highs. That's a pretty good trade, but that's a trade that you could have missed. But the idea this morning, sell basically 85 plus or minus, or 89s to 91s. That was sell 2. And these sell 2 points are really great support and resistance. Markets move sideways. They're a little higher, they get the stops. They're a little lower, they get the stops. But basically they move sideways most of the time. So the idea was to be a seller. This was our number 2 point. And if you can figure out how to stay with a trade that long, that trade's good for 15 points. And I'm not saying you should stay with the trade that long. I'm just saying that's where the potential is. So what do we see for tomorrow? Okay, for those of you that are new, this, you come and you say, give me a break. What do you mean a lower high and a lower low? That's all you use to find out if you're a seller. Well, this is the day information for the day. It's more monolithic. It's slower moving. And you can see we've got a lower high, which has produced a lower low. Now there's a lot that goes into that lower high and lower low. It's selling. It's what it takes to produce that. So we know that there's sellers on this screen just because we can look at it and see that. But will they be there tomorrow? Well, we don't know if they'll be there tomorrow, but we're willing to take a shot if everything sets up that way. Our F2 screen was definitely a B. We talked about this, how we had to get volume to move lower, and volume did move lower right there. Got a B pattern shape, so we're still finding places to sell it. We weren't able to build volume above 88.50. We touched it, and we're still extending the range lower. The key is going to be, does the 50 lot trader participate in this selling this afternoon? So if we're to close right here at 75, 77 to 80 would be sell 1, and then our 80, well, last rotate up was 83, 83, 85 would be sell 2. And we have news tomorrow. We have retail sales. 70, 72 would be buy 1. Picking up that low volume number at 69.50, Robert. And then we got a low volume number at 65.50. We'll start off with 66.64. Now we have news tomorrow. Retail sales can come in lower than forecast, plus 0.3. X auto plus 0.4. Import prices plus 0.8. Price of crude's gone up quite a bit. Export prices plus 0.2. So we have an advantage there in our exports. And business inventories plus 0.2. So the focus is retail sales, X autos. Then we have Wednesday, FOMC. Now, if I were a large player and I wanted to keep the carry business going, if I were the 5 banks deemed too large to fail, I'd be bombing the hell out of the market, and I'd push the market down right into the Fed's face and say, okay, you want to raise interest rates? See what happens. That's how I would play it with that kind of clout, and we'll see if that happens. Just a second, please. Okay, I apologize for that interruption, but Henry is a very good watchdog, and the window washer is here, and Henry just, every time he sees somebody pop up in a window, he's going to sound off. That's his job. And he's pretty persistent. So anyway, I've got him quieted down, and things should be cool. Okay, so we like the short side of the market. And again, this afternoon late, don't be surprised to see the 50-lot trader step up to the plate. Okay, we have the FOMC on Wednesday. Nobody expects the Fed to raise interest rates on this go-around. The thing that would make the bottom fall out of gold, Treasuries and the dollar would be the Fed's. The dollar would go crazy. It would make the bottom would fall out of the euro and other currencies. Would be the Fed raising interest rates. So we have to think about that. We have to strategize about that. 10-year higher low, higher highs pointed higher. We've had quite of a rally into the FOMC meeting. Nobody expects the Fed to raise interest rates, but they'll be looking and trying to get a feel for when they might raise interest rates in their language. So we're still in that situation. First sell 27 to 31. Second sell 3 to 7. If the E-mini falls out of bed, we want no part of the short side of the market. In fact, the idea is to find a place to get long. First long 17 to 21. Second long 9 to 13. When Henry lets us know that somebody's fooling around the house or coming up to the steps that he doesn't know, and Helen opens the door and he keeps barking, Helen in dog talk and dog language starts yelling at him, which he says, oh, she's barking too. You can't make either one of them be quiet in that situation. So what I have to do in those situations is go up there and tell Henry that he's a good boy. Thank you so much for alerting us to the presence of somebody else. But it's time to be quiet, and he usually complies. But if it were up to Helen, she'd be up to just yelling and yelling and yelling at Henry, and Henry saying, God, she's barking too. Let's get it on. And that doesn't work out very well. Okay, resistance 1 is the buck to that. And my guess, we got a pretty fair chance 69 holds if the E-mini doesn't break. 3 to 7 will be sell 1. It's new highs, but we can see that the market's not exploding to the upside. And if it were to explode to the upside, I think we would see it in the action in the E-mini. 12 to 16 is going to be our first little band of support down here. So 5 to 9 is buy 1. I do like the long side. 29 to 01 is buy 2. Looking at gold. Pretty strong market, and we're getting our moves out of the middle. So like I said, my feeling is we're headed for, again, to retest this high at 1300 plus. Several months ago, Bank of America said 1350 to 1550 is where they thought gold would top this year, and I don't know where they got those numbers, but sounds reasonable to me. But we've been pretty good at spotting potential $25 moves that have and hopefully that will continue. Okay, so higher low, higher high. The screen says buy it. Find a place to buy it. Our F2 screen on gold, definitely a P, and you can see that volume is above time, and that favors a retest at least of the 88 areas. So we can sell failure to take out 88 to 90. We got volume up at 96 and 94, so 94, 96 would be sell 2. The idea that maybe we have a trading range tomorrow, but if the E-mini is selling, I really don't want any part of the short side of the market. We're at 85.60 right now. Last rotate stopped at 83, so 80 to 83 will be our first buy zone. And then 75, 77. So we really like to buy 75s to 80s, and we're like to sell the 90 to 95 areas starting out for tomorrow, to keep it simple. How low will crude go? I'm guessing that we're going to test 47 before this round of selling's over, and crude moves in $2 to $3 increments, so a $2 move and a $3 move would take us to 47. Yeah, Reg, we've heard those stories before too, about people that have had dogs that did a pretty good job at what it is that they do. Got to pay attention to them. They're really good at their hearing's a hell of a lot better than ours. Okay, lower high, lower low on crude. F1 screen, find a place to sell it. We look at every market the same way every day. Our A period split produced a great trade. Last rotate up was 48.93, so 49.49 and a quarter, sell 1. 49.50, 49.75, sell 2. On the buy side, I believe we did have, let's see, we had 48 and a quarter this morning as a buy zone. That looks reasonable again. That held up pretty well for us. And then 47.50, 47 and a quarter for buy 2. Reg, are all the fires out up in Canada? Did they get rained out? Did Mother Nature kill them? It's usually the way it happens. And last but not least, the euro. It looks like we've got a 12.50 to 13.50 market. Lower high, lower low, we can find a place to sell. And we had some pretty good selling coming into the day. It rallied back nicely, and my guess was they probably had stories or something about the Brexit vote wasn't as sure as the weekend poll showed. And, you know, I find it hard to believe that those that are getting their pockets lined by being in the EU are going to do anything but spend all the money they can to make sure that continues. So 40 to 50 is resistance. Sell 1. 70 to 80, sell 2. On the buy side, 113 even. 113.10, buy 1. And then our 12.75, just where we were today, didn't quite get there for buy 2. And that'll do it for this June 13th, 2016. I'll see all you people bright and early in the morning. I wish you a good evening. I see they've backed off on the forecast here. Don't have 100-degree weather in the forecast. It's a little early for that. For us, that's July weather. Mid-July at that. Not to say that it can't happen, but it's a little too early. And thank goodness for air conditioning, right? Y'all have a great evening. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. I'm out of here.